Forget the sci-fi movies where a chrome robot kicks down the office door and drags you out of your ergonomic chair. The shift in our workforce is happening quietly, on a glowing screen, in an empty cubicle. We're witnessing a rapid collapse in the time required to complete standard office tasks. Think about an assignment that normally ties you up for 3 hours, scrubbing thousands of mismatched rows in an Excel database, or drafting a comprehensive project timeline. You sit down with a coffee, and an invisible piece of software finishes the entire thing in 5 minutes. This is not a loud physical displacement. It is the invisible vaporization of the time and effort historically required to exist in a desk job. Because of this, the traits that used to define a top performer are becoming liabilities. Typing speed, high-intensity focus, and manual mastery of complex spreadsheets are losing their market value. For decades, companies rewarded this level of manual concentration. We built an entire culture around the physical act of tracing data points and processing information by hand. The new winners in this ecosystem are orchestrators. These are people who stand behind the front lines, checking for errors and distributing strategic commands across dozens of workflows at once. Operating a computer has moved beyond the execution of singular tasks. It has become the act of commanding an invisible, tireless army. To see where this is headed, we have to look at the people who build the technology, software engineers. They are the canaries in the coal mine, absorbing the first shocks of this reclassification. Despite the high-tech output, coding has historically been meticulous manual labor, requiring keystroke-by-keystroke precision. This traces back to the very roots of computing, where entering logic meant a physical grind of loading punch cards into a mainframe. The interface of software creation has always been a manual struggle. A traditional developer works like a dedicated archivist, handwriting a complex manuscript where a single missing semicolon ruins the whole. For all our talk of digital progress, building software remained a fundamentally artisanal process. Until now. The shift became public when Boris Cherny of Anthropic debuted Claude Code on CNBC. He wasn't just showing off a new tool, he was outlining a new reality for labor based on AI special agents. Unlike autocomplete tools that suggest the next word, these agents possess a level of autonomy. They understand the overarching goal you are trying to reach. When an agent receives a command, it independently splits it into smaller tasks, writes the code, and tests itself. Through MCP, these agents operate internal tools and extract data without a human ever clicking a mouse. The software interface has evolved from a passive tool awaiting human input into an active entity executing its own logic. For engineers, the daily experience is shifting. Instead of typing out syntax, they are issuing commands in natural language. This has inverted how they spend their time. A developer may now spend 80% of their day reviewing machine-generated output rather than creating it themselves. This is the birth of the agent labor economy. The human worker has moved from being the creator of the product to being the auditor of the machine. This structural collapse within software engineering will inevitably leak into the broader corporate world. Accounting, human resources, marketing, and data analysis are exposed to this same transition. These machines represent a fading requirement of the office, the idea that a human had to be in physical contact with it. To survive this shift, you have to stop trying to do the work yourself. Your true goal now is to learn how to be the boss of the invisible machines that will.
There's a costly illusion spreading through corporate boardrooms right now. Executives are buying up premium AI accounts and assuming that just giving their staff access will automatically multiply the company's output. But simply handing out logins while keeping the exact same daily procedures in place doesn't actually move the needle. We saw this exact same trap play out when personal computers first entered the corporate environment in the 1980s and 90s. If you look at this physical ledger, dropping a brand new desktop computer onto the exact same desk as these handwritten logs and rubber stamps didn't speed anything up. Buying technology is not a magic fix. Trying to plug a highly advanced tool into a legacy workflow only creates a very expensive illusion of progress. Look closely at this photo from the 90s. The real spike in corporate output only happened when companies physically dismantled their old procedures and rebuilt their teams entirely around the computer. Artificial intelligence operates on that exact same law. but the penalty for ignoring it today arrives much faster and with far less mercy. If you treat AI as just a smarter search bar or a quirky supplementary toy for your employees, your company is missing the actual shift. The organizations that survive the next decade will be the ones willing to tear down their traditional departmental silos and rebuild how data flows, placing AI agents right at the center. Right now, executives at top tech firms are projecting productivity increases in the hundreds of percentage points. You shouldn't take that number as a guarantee for your own business. Instead, you should treat it as a severe warning about exactly where the baseline of global competition is rapidly heading. We're moving away from manual, step-by-step labor into agent orchestration, where a single human command deploys a coordinated swarm of bots executing multiple tasks simultaneously. A core process that required a month of human routing can now be accelerated 4 times over. When you compress that much time and labor out of a system, the traditional defensive barriers that keep legacy businesses safe start to buckle under the pressure. Operating at that velocity is an active weapon. It directly dismantles the economic moats that defined corporate dominance for the last 20 years. Consider the concept of switching costs. This is the massive operational friction that makes it incredibly painful for a company to migrate from an old CRM platform to a brand new ERP system. Large enterprise software companies rely entirely on that friction. It's what locks their clients into paying millions of dollars in annual licensing fees. But a swarm of autonomous agents neutralizes that friction. They can read thousands of pages of complex documentation and instantly translate data formats between the old system and the new one. They can communicate directly across APIs and write custom internal software in minutes, entirely bypassing what used to be a months-long, expensive corporate development cycle. The walls protecting the modern software economy are quietly being rendered irrelevant by autonomous workflows that simply refuse to be locked in. But below that macro-level structural transition, the everyday knowledge worker is caught squarely in the middle. There is an intense, invisible weight pressing down on professionals right now, as structural expectations of what they produce shift rapidly beneath them. From the top, executives and boards are demanding that their teams learn to coordinate these agents. The goal is simple: multiply the output without adding a single dollar to the payroll. And from the bottom, there is fierce existential competition against a younger wave of employees who natively understand how to wield these tools. We are comparing a solitary professional executing tasks linearly against a competitor who casually commands 10 agents at once to handle the workload of an entire department. Treating AI as a polite assistant guarantees obsolescence. Surviving the coming decade strictly requires becoming a master orchestrator of.
The shift in how we work won't look like a sci-fi movie. There is no sentient supercomputer dropping from the sky to physically lock you out of your office. What we are actually facing looks more like this chart. This line represents the historical baseline for what we consider a competent human worker. But overnight, that required baseline of productivity shoots upward by a factor of 5. It's a silent, institutional audit. Notice how that spike instantly creates a massive gap. The new standard solidifies right here, completely unannounced. No market reports warned us, and no labor board asked for permission. The definition of a capable employee simply changed while everyone was looking the other way. This hits the exact people who felt the safest: senior marketing executives, financial analysts, strategic planners, professionals who spent a decade mending and refining highly specialized manual cognitive skills. Here is the financial reality of that shift. On the left, a dense resume built on 10 years of effort and experience. On the right, a $20 monthly software invoice. Those hard-earned human insights didn't disappear. They became default features in a cheap subscription package. You won't be suddenly fired by a robot. The real shock of this era is the quiet, invisible devaluation of your personal expertise. To understand why manual human execution is being pushed out of these workflows, we have to look at the infrastructure, where speed is the only metric that matters. Look at cybersecurity. Historically, keeping a network safe meant human experts spent thousands of hours manually reviewing code to hunt down a single vulnerability. That model is being replaced. The incoming cyber war isn't fought by security pros typing at keyboards to stop a hacker. The combatants are now entirely autonomous swarms of AI agents. This is a hyper-fast clash.
Thousands of automated offensive agents probe for weakness, instantly met by defensive swarms that collide and neutralize the threat. This entire cycle, infiltration, patching, and adaptation, happens in a matter of milliseconds. This chart shows why humans are losing their role in active execution. Agent action occurs in single digits. Human reflexes lag in the hundreds of milliseconds. We are biologically locked out. Because we cannot keep up, our role slides entirely off the execution timeline into a new overarching layer, oversight and audit. The demand on the human worker changes. You are no longer required to manually patch the server. You must read the risk, audit the automated decisions, and adjudicate the final outcomes. Now, operational execution belongs to the machines. The utility left for a human mind in these systems is strategic oversight. The autonomous systems seen in cybersecurity are a blueprint for the wider economy. These same pressures are now arriving at the standard corporate desk. Centuries ago, knowing how to read and write was a specialized skill. Eventually, it became the bare minimum required to participate in the economy. Today, talking to software and commanding it to work on your behalf is the new survival literacy. You don't need to be a software engineer. Not everyone who can read is Hemingway. But if you cannot command software, you are effectively economically illiterate. This leads to a brutal evaluation for anyone hoping to keep their seat in a modern office. The system no longer cares what you can produce with your own hands or your own brain. The new core competency is a single question. Can you command, coordinate, and take absolute liability for an intelligence that is sharper than your own? If the answer is no, you won't be escorted out of the building. You will simply be bypassed, left unassigned and invisible while the work happens around you. Economic authority has moved. It no longer rewards the capacity to execute a task, but the capacity to direct and take liability.